Hello, John Dilworth here. Let's see what's happening with Jim. Because this kid has got lots of going on. He was here, I had him here, trying to calm down Jane, who's here. And she's not having it. She's cursed. She's under the big moon. Things are changing. She's lost control. She's howling, howling, howling. And now Jim is, he's confused, scattered, doesn't know what to do. So he's disintegrating himself. So what I want to do is go from this pose. I want to get him here to him standing up, holding his head. And what I did was use the original drawing for scale, just so I know where things are. And I'm going to move to this darker blue pencil. I love these color erases as roughs until I replenish my red pens. And I know that I'm a little bit behind on all this. But we're trying to get some things going, other projects for funding and production. You know, we got to be busy. This is the time. There's a lot going on, and I want to take advantage of this. Maybe it could help finish our film, which is a long way off, unfortunately. But it could happen really fast once the right, what is it called, the resources appear. And I want to thank, thinking of resources, I want to thank Devante from South Carolina and Preston from Dallas, especially. This awesome animation. And also I want to let everybody know that our own Michael Myers, he's got a new album out called Lecker, sorry. I'm just trying to think about these things. And it's absolutely crazy, beautiful. I'm going to put a link somewhere. And for all those of you who are ambitious and not too sensitive and have a sense of humor, you can check it out. Michael has been so generous, and he's offered to produce our music for us. And that's a big deal, because he's really quite talented. So we'll get into that. So as Jim is having his own suffering here, I like doing, as you know, I love doing sound effects while I'm trying to find a pose. And Jim's body, I want to keep Jim's body consistent. I really miss this. His scoliosis, you know, the curvature of the spine. I want to always try to get that in his drawings. No, our friend Joseph, he's also going through, you know, his experience as all of us have, the frustrations of, you know, being an artist, trying to get our message out. And it's an eternal one. You know, you can imagine, without working for the state or some king or pharaoh, or how are you going to bring your beautiful craft to the world? That's been the crises of artists for a long time. But I'm glad that you don't lose heart. So I made this ridiculous eraser using a straw. Talk about, invention. So I just want to make sure that Jim's hair and all this other noise is on model. He's got 1, 2, and back here, his ear. Oh, it can't help. Oh! Maybe this is a little bit, you can test it with the original drawing to make sure your volumes, whoopsies. See, this is not ideal. I really have to get, all my supplies are low, because I wear them out. We'll do it. Get some more. I know, I know, I know. But you know, the world is very strange now. I really am not an online guy. I love going to stores and talking to people and having a physical contact experience. And everything now is online. You know, you're being pushed to go online. They call it pushed. You're being nudged, coerced, really. And it's all about these rules. And I don't have a mystical attitude about these rules. I don't. I have a sober and, you know, what we talked about. What did we learn in journalism school? You know, don't trust authorities. You know, look into it, challenge it. So there's that. I'd rather buy my art supplies from somebody I can talk to about my art supplies, even if it's just to say hello. How are you? How's life? What have you been working on? How's your art? And that's life. How could life be otherwise? You're a stranger walking through the earth. You know, like you don't exist. You already halfway don't exist, you know, physically, visually, with these rules. So this is what I'm trying to get at here. Jim is holding his head. He goes up, and this is what they call a moving hold. Like he goes up and then settles down. And where's his eyes? And this is much preferred over a static going from one position to the other and holding that. Especially if it's emotional. So you can go, oh, oh. So collapsing into himself. And that is called, what? A moving hold. There's lots of different ways to do this. I'm just doing this way. It's a really simple way. Maybe it's have his eyes like this. And I'll tighten this up, of course. And with our miracle toxic eraser tool, wash your hands, right? That's a good reason to wash your hands. Imagine you chewing this. Oh my God. I have to tell you, this has got to be 30 years old. This little piece of evil, whatever this is, I don't even know how they made this. But it's collected every kind of lead and huda. Wash your hands! As long as you keep it out of your mouth, out of your body. Your skin is porous, all of it. So, you know, you got to wash your hands for that. It's crazy. Touch glues. Who knows what these glues are made out of? I mean, my God. All right, that's another thing. So we're talking about moving holds, and I'm doing this, and this could be... Oh! All right, so let me refine Jim's hair. Always checking with my model. It's not my model, it's the key drawing. It's the first drawing of the shot. And I've already worked out its proportions and scales, and I could use it as a guide for a material that comes way after. Always keeping an eye on volume and proportion and scale. And I'll just do this. Oh, wait a minute. He's got 1, 2, 3. Like that. And his hair is just a little bit exaggerated here to give him the business, to get across the feeling. Oh, so this is how it's going to look. I hate for you to look at white screen. Pardon me for that. Very sloppy, Dilworth. All right, so there it is. Whoa, whoa. So it's this in between that is going to be the most fun. And we've often spoke about the in-betweens. And you know, our master, Richard Williams, always he believed in that the real stuff, the real gold was in between these two, well, key drawings, because now you're free to some extent. Of course, you have to interpret what's going on. I mean, the most dull thing you could do in something like this is just go straight ahead. It's terribly dull. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to have him come up into the air. He's going to leave the ground. And always I want to keep his strange scoliosis. And I'm going to angle him a little bit more. So this will be his waist. I'm just blocking his stuff out. All his business. But really, I want him to get up in the air. And his joints, so what? They go in different directions. They break the joints. That's also Richard Williams, right? You read that, you study his book, and you eventually it gets in. You know, all these little, not rules, but principles. We're talking about principles. And I think this is better for us because I know you can see it. And then his hands are here, so look, you see, let me just show you where his hands are because I want you to get a sense of things. There's his hands, and so they have to be on his head. And how could we do that so that, look at, I mean, huge, right? How about, yeah. Anticipation. We'll rough this out and then see how it is. Maybe it's too much, but we'll, yeah. I like this a lot. There's his head. Maybe his head is too, should it be down? Yeah, we could even put his head down as long as it's somewhat clear. You see, I've got this thing here. And I may move with our magic silly eraser. I may move this hand. So I'm always aware of if the drawing has a dynamic quality. That means it's not rigid. It's not stiff. So it's left the ground. And here's his ear as a landmark, the top of his head, this little piece of hair, and let's say his body of hair, the form of it is like that, and we can build it. And I'm going to have his eyes closed here. You can't deal with it. You know, it's just so much you can do with the irrational mind. And at this point, Jim he has to go to a different tactic. And as some of you who have contributed who've donated to get the storyboard know what's coming next. He has to go to plan B if she doesn't listen to reason. So you see that I have to move the hand here because it's now clearer. You see? Bing. All right, so let's just peek at this. Let's peek at this. Oh! And there. So if I look at, now the real test would be as we proceed. Let's see how we can get up. This is going to be a simple one of these. I'm just going to put a standard chart. 3 an in-between and 2 breakdowns. So if he's going to go up, I want him then to go down. So here he is. Let's use this. Let's use this. So his feet are going to squash a little bit. So I'm going to bring them out. I'll bring them out like that. And his body is going to go. And so we can have some exaggeration here now. Right? And keep these forms clear. And I'm going to put his head up like this. So I have the basic rough body, which I will tighten up with the pencils. And here's this, and I'm going to feel this out. And here's his ear. We put in the landmarks so we can find things. So let me feel this out before we commit. Put that on the bottom. If you're flipping, there's lots of ways to flip, but you want to be able to get it, you want to be able to see your drawings. So I'm just the body. So the body looks good. We will deal with the hands perhaps separately. That's what I'm thinking. But I'm going to leave these for a guide. So I tell you what I'm going to do. So this looks all right. So now we're in the air. And let's just get the bodies. And then we're going to think about these arms. Because I just realized as we're moving along, which is a process, you know, nothing so rigid, no rigid laws that impede creativity and the invention of new processes. Right? Okay, so he's in the air, I want him to come down. So let's have him come down. He's going to come down just where I want him. And I'm just going to flatten out his business here. And here's his head. His head. Don't want his head to be halfway. I want it to lean and give. Actually, would be better here. It's a big hit. Maybe his head is here. Let's see. Let's just put his torso. Let's put his legs down. Because his legs are going to tell us a lot. How this thing is going to move. Already, all right. I feel a little better on this. There's scoliosis. Everything is contracting. Here's his neck area. So his head's not there. And what I did was I moved up from his feet and legs and built up, and that helped me with his. We might even have to change that head because we want his head. And even that's a big hit right there. So, what I'm going to do, that's too much distance, the spacing. I think I need his head to be there. So I'm going to put this here, and this is what's so fun. His body just gets weird. His body just gets weird. So here's this part of his head. Let me see his eyes. So maybe his head is here. Okay, this is the problem. This head is now out. So we talked about adjusting. And I'm straight ahead. This is straight ahead, pretty much straight ahead. I didn't block it out. But now we're getting into an example of where we can move between straight ahead and this kind of plotting, so that we don't lose time and lose our way. So what will give us this snap here is a head here. See, like that. And then his hands, let's just block in his hand here. See, that feels good, right? That feels good right there. And so let's go backwards. I've never done that. I'm just thinking with you. I don't even, hold on. Let me, since we're going backwards, I'm going to go, I just never done this. It's just something I'm doing now with you. Well, I can't see it that way, so it didn't work. At least we tried, right? At least we tried. So let's put this stuff back here. Ordinarily, I would have a rubber band on my pegs, but I haven't got one. Okay, his arms, let's say, right, I'm just going to put in some vague, arbitrarily placed arms, broken things, and I will absolutely revise these. And I'm thinking, well, why not that? Wow, that was weird. I like that. You see I know it's not refined, and of course I will refine it, but I already liked discovering how that feels. His hands become out here. A nice anticipation too. We're not going to worry about the head. We're just doing these arms. And let's get this. Let's refine more. Hinge. These would be the hinges, right? Okay. You can put in that detail. So that's pretty cool. We have a couple of different things. And in fact, we can play around with his shirt and expose his little belly button. Maybe not so much. This will be a distraction. So we pick up little distractions on the way. So this guy, even the head seems to be okay. That just worked out. So his head's a little further down here, down in his body. Oh, do you see that? Anybody see that? And it's just a sort of, I'm looking first at the feet. And now I'm thinking, well, let's say this one foot here doesn't come down right away. Huh? I'm just thinking, what can I do to just jazz things up a little bit more? Well, it's too much in the same place. So my need would be it needs to be higher. I just love the idea, so I'm going to do it. It's 1 foot. It drags. I see it. It drags. It's an experiment. So how can I feel, let me do this. Let me raise this foot up. Right? Let me see. Let's break this. Let's break this foot. Totally unbelievable foot. See how it's broken? And then yeah, okay. I think that works out. That's a little funky because of perspective, but don't give up, because the feeling is you want a delay. Yeah, okay, I did that. It's a minor thing, it won't even be noticed too much. But the big thing is his hands to his head. And we could also delay, no, because it's just going to be smack. And then he comes down, right? So you have all this business. And I'm pretty satisfied as a rough. And I can go back in here and tighten up all the lines. And so, yeah, so he has a settling pose, a settling hold. And I could even move his body out more on this, you know, since he's got this scoliosis. And also gives us a sense of his scattered and confusing move way forward. You know, he's not centered. Yeah. And of course, a little doggy Julius Jaws will be down here. Who knows how we're going to attack him? That's another layer. This could even be 5 drawings. I mean, from here to here, like another chart, you know, like that. Just to smooth that out. Because Jane's going to be howling here, and we want to feel him. All right, so it'll just start getting very, very long. So I'm going to cut us off here, and I'm going to wish you a very, very successful adventure today. I don't know where that came from. It just came from someplace. So stay animated.